Wow, what a big night in Miami. Bam Adebayo scores 83 points and becomes the second all-time single game scorer in the history of the National Basketball Association. And for those of you who are youngins who think basketball began with Kobe Bryant, he just eclipsed Kobe Bryant. That is why it's this big. So as we continue on OG Sports Rap,
Yes,
I am
sir.
Professor G. Mark Gray. That is Jeff Fox. Jeff is at home in Miami, where he
No
got a
doubt.
chance to get a firsthand look at Bam. And when you let me just tell you how this played out for us on the East Coast, right?
Right.
All right, we're watching the NBA game of the week on NBC. I think it's what San Antonio and Boston.
Right.
They start cutting in at halftime with this big night that Bam Adebayo is having. I don't know if you were
No, I
a
was I
part
was I
of
was
that.
oblivious to it. I was
Yeah, yeah.
oblivious
Oh,
to
oh,
it.
you don't understand how big this was, man. I'm at my favorite watering hole. A place where, let's just say, you eat good in the neighborhood. All
Right.
right.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're right there. They're cutting into the game, Jeff. I mean, and next thing you know, it's like he's got 83. What the hell is going on? Tell me how that played out.
Well, when Bam scored 31 in the first quarter, I thought it was a misprint because I wasn't even watching the game. I mean, who wants to watch the Heat and the Wizards, okay? And I've been the biggest Bam Adebayo critic since he joined the team because I just felt like he was, he had all the tools. You know what I mean? And he would give us 18-point games. As a matter of fact, he averages just under 19. This doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, it
And
doesn't.
like, there's some shocking things that I've seen in sports, Professor G, and I think about Tyson Douglas as number one. But this is right up there, man. This is right up there.
Not Tyson Douglas.
Yes, sir. This is right up there.
Wow.
This is right up there.
That
It
is
makes no
phenomenal.
sense. It makes no sense.
It
You
doesn't,
know,
does it? And I'm gonna tell you in the context because I'm sitting at my watering hole where I'm eating good in the neighborhood, and I'm telling you, I would have you couldn't tell me. I mean, Bam's nice. He's an Olympian. Okay, let's be real about
right,
that. He was on
right.
a quote dream team. He's been an all-star. So I have absolutely no disrespect for his game whatsoever. However, to have a night like this is just one of them nights. And what I was trying to tell people in the bar was there are people that you could figure would have a night like this, say Kobe Bryant. You never would have put Bam Adebayo in the sphere of Kobe Bryant,
Never,
right?
never, never. That's what's so shocking about this. It makes absolutely no sense. If you know Bam Adebayo, his season high was 32 points going into this game. He almost eclipsed that in the first quarter. And then I said, at halftime, what's he got? 43. Okay, he might hit 56. I mean, I really wasn't following along because I fell asleep, as a matter of fact. I
You
just
fell
didn't.
asleep on Bam's big night.
I wasn't buying it, man. I know I saw it. Let me tell you something. There was
This
an
is funny.
iconic call by the great Jack Buck. I think his name was Jack Buck, the baseball guy who said
I
on the
don't
Kirk
believe what
Gibson.
I just saw.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't believe what I just saw. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. But
How
kudos to Bam, man.
unfathomable? How unfathomable is this, Jeff? I
It's
mean,
the
really.
it's the beauty of sports, man. The beauty of sports. The most unlikely thing to ever happen to anybody in the NBA. I mean, whoever thought Bam was an offensive juggernaut? Even though I will tell you, Professor G, I've seen this version of Bam before. You know where?
Where?
In the summer league when he wore the do rag. In the summer league, I called him do rag Bam. I would never see him in the NBA. He would hit threes from everywhere. He would dribble a ball coast to coast. He was unstoppable in the summer league. And then when we get to the playoffs in the NBA, he's unsure of himself. He doesn't like. I can't believe this. I'm speechless.
That's my guy Jeff Fox from Miami, having watched Bam Adebayo drop 83. Now, again, this is the Wizards we're talking about here. Okay, we're not talking about a team that plays defense at all. I mean, hell, Trae Young is a matador. Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, you have to respect it, but you as a Miami fan, do you take it with a grain of salt?
Yeah, because you're not going to see this again. This was perfect. Asia Wilson was there. I mean, during the WNBA season, we called him Mr. Asia Wilson. There's a lot of people in the media that said, Bam,
Wow.
you could be better. You know what? Everybody's tradable on this team. Get rid of everybody. That was the feeling after we lost to the Cavs a year ago, in the play-in game. And just a couple of weeks ago, Bam Adebayo came out and said, I'm better than a play-in game. I want more than that. I'm not going to be in no play-in game. And Dwayne Wade had something to say. It was a big to-do. But
what did D Wade have to say for the rest of us who ain't in Miami?
Well, D Wade, basically said, well, show us. You know what I mean? Show us. Because, all we expect from the Miami Heat was for them to be in the play-in tournament. And they've been playing pretty good basketball lately, but we've seen this before. I always felt like Miami does not have an A-list superstar. And, you would have to be on your best behavior to beat the Miami Heat if you're the Boston Celtics or the Cleveland Cavs or the New York Knicks. You got to be on your A game because Spo knows how to get the most with the least. But tonight was ridiculous.
You're right. He certainly does. And this was a trademark night. But as much as I love Pat Riley as a Lakers coach, I'm not quite sure that Pat Riley, the Lakers coach, would be down with Pat Riley, the president of the franchise, man. Because he's always good at putting parts together, but putting a team together seems to be the dilemma down there, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And every time there's a big free agent available, well, Miami's among we go yawn. Like, come on, whatever. We haven't seen anything major since, I don't know, Jimmy Butler. We didn't even think that was big at the time, Like,
right.
We were used to big whales. We used to the Zoes, the Shaqs, LeBron.
The LeBron passing through, yeah.
And then he just, developed these guys, these mentally tough guys, and then when they leave Miami, they go back to being Clark Kent, I don't know, man.
If you believe it's butter, but it's not.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Gabe Vincent, look at Gabe. Is he still in the league? Gabe Vincent was lethal in Miami, But Caleb Martin, but I just never thought I would ever see this out of Bam.
So because you would expect it out of, say, D Wade, perhaps, and I'm going
D Wade, anybody,
maybe Zoe,
not even Zoe.
No,
D Wade, prolific scoring, and LeBron, D Wade,
and Jimmy, I guess,
Jimmy had. I was there when Jimmy dropped the 56 on Milwaukee.
Okay.
That you had to be there,
right?
So I can imagine what tonight must have felt like. And then the fact again is the 56 out of Jimmy. You kind of expected that because He's that type of player.
Yeah.
Who the hell expects 83 points out of a guy that averages 19 points a game?
That is the craziest night ever in the history of basketball, if you
Wake
ask
me
me.
up, man. Wake me up.
I
I must be
mean,
dreaming.
yeah, it's a bananas night in basketball, man. What can you say about it? That's why we love the game,
That's why we
and
love
I would
sports.
assume after a night like this, that has to be what frustrates Heat fans the most.
Yes.
You see, you've
Yes.
been on the precipice for so long,
Yes.
and quite frankly, I'm a Pat Riley Lakers guy. Lakers and Showtime were my favorite team ever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Pat Riley, the front office executives, has, I don't believe, done Miami right. I'll say that. I think you guys got a passionate fan base. You're ready to support. We see it with hockey and the Panthers. So let's
Right.
not get it twisted. All right. I'm not hating on Riley. He got a statue out in L.A.
Right.
But I think would I be too far in saying that Riley, the executive, has underachieved when you compare Riley, the coach?
I would say that. I would say that. I mean, some people would consider it disrespectful because he's the great Pat Riley. With the expensive suits and the slick back hair and all of that. That's just an icon. And Pat Riley's place in Mount Rushmore in South Florida is very secure.
Of
But I
course,
think he
it should
has
be.
failed. Yeah, he has failed as a GM. He has failed. The big three, I think, happened because of Wade's friendship with LeBron.
Right.
But Riley's always been credited for putting that all together. So
I mean, yeah, he gets his dap right, but you know what I'm saying, Jeff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm outside, so Miami fan, understand this is objective analysis here. This isn't piling on because I struggle seriously as
yeah.
a fan of Pat Riley. I struggle to come to grips with Riley, the basketball executive, compared to Riley, the coach, because Riley played for an organization that gives his coach every chance to win a championship every year.
Yes.
I can't say that Riley's done that for Spo, and Spo got the one he was supposed to get. But let's be real for a second. Is Riley doing Spo right?
That's a very, very, very keen observation by you. As one not to live in Miami and hear the bickering media, and some of the conversation that goes on amongst us in private, you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't dare come out and disrespect the great Pat Riley.
And I mean it is no
Yeah,
disrespect, though.
yeah.
You know
But
what I'm
but
saying? I'm just
people are gonna
this is
look at it
objective
like that.
analysis.
People will
Yeah.
look at it like that in South Florida because almost he's almost shooter like. He's on that level. I mean, he said when he came here in '95 from the Knicks, he said, "I'm going to bring a championship to Miami." A perennial doormat in the NBA, and guess what? He delivered.
I
He
will say
delivered.
this, since you brought up Shula, and one will never forget the perfect season,
Right.
but that's the last time they won a Super Bowl. Okay? With all
Yeah.
due respect, Miami, no diss. I love y'all. Great town, fun times, beautiful weather, the whole bit. The whole bit, Jeff.
Yeah.
But, man, they got to get out the past down there. Holding on to that with the Dolphins, Riley and his rep. I mean,
Yeah, I feel for Dolphin fans. I really
yeah.
do. I do. I'm a Raider fan myself, so we're not that far from that type of futility as well. But um, I'm hoping things work out for them because I want to see what South Florida would be like if the Dolphins finally do, get to the big one. What will this town be like? I don't think we'll see anything like what that would be. What a great day that would be.
So
But
so
for right
so
now,
as
it's a wish.
I didn't mean to keep you this long, but I got to ask you about the Dolphins. You know, life after Tua, if you will. Um, is it a mess? Is it a hot mess, or is it just well, what is it?
A sigh of relief, a
Okay,
collective sigh of relief. Like you heard South Florida
that is
go,
funny.
finally, because they have had it with Tua for a long time. For a long time. He just didn't have it. He just didn't have it. You had to cater the offense to Tua's abilities, which Mike McDaniel, to his credit, did very well. The high point being the 77-point game against the Broncos. And he had them looking like the greatest show on turf. But teams figured it out. They figured it out. And Jalen Ramsey, I want to point this out, Mark. Jalen Ramsey said that if you take away Tua's first read, he panics. And that is so accurate. It is so accurate. And he just puts the ball in harm's way, a la Geno Smith.
Yeah, well,
But at least Geno had an excuse. Tua sometimes inexplicably throws it to the wrong team.
overrated. I
Yeah,
mean, I've always thought that. And he's not physically durable, but
not at
that was
all.
a guy they hitched their giddy up to, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. Uh, did I hear something about Malik Willis down there?
Absolutely. Malik Willis, is here because, some ties to the Packers, of course, the new
Mm-hmm.
coach and all. And it makes perfect sense. I did say and predict earlier, but I was hearing the news a couple of weeks ago, that Tua would be out and Malik Willis most likely would be in.
That's a good
And he
look.
got paid well. And he's going to add a different dynamic to the Dolphin offense
He will.
because he's swift. They got some speed in that backfield now with A-Chain as well as Malik Willis. It's a shame to see Tyreek go, but maybe they got some good plans for the Dolphin offense.
Yeah.
Speed is what you need.
Unfortunately, I think the tone was set with the Tyreek Hill thing when he got arrested going to his first game. I
Yeah,
mean, it was kind of like downhill ever since, and that wasn't really his fault. But you know how it is when energy takes over and things start snowballing. To me, that was the epicenter of the Tyreek Hill experience on South Beach.
no doubt. Hey, let me ask you a question, man.
Mm-hmm.
The other players reacting around the NBA, like you said, the timeline, like you guys were in a restaurant and
Mm-hmm.
and you were watching your phones and like just everybody was watching. Like, what
Well,
was that
first off,
like, man?
yeah. Well, first off, you got to remember it's a national basketball night. So anything that happens away from the national game is going to be kind of glorified. And then they started cutting in, and then you had the historic piece about, perhaps eclipsing Kobe and maybe even going after Wilt. It was a fascinating dynamic um, to watch, only because not only were real basketball heads like myself into it, it became something that people could gravitate to. And the fact that it was some dude that nobody knew in Bam Adebayo, and I'm like, yo, he was on the Olympic team. He does have a gold
Yeah,
medal.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
So,
that's
so,
part of what frustrates everybody down here
oh,
because he just, he's down, and like, we just expected more.
well,
We
think
always
about.
expected more.
Let me tell you this, and here's the Riley dynamic. He should know that he should have either Zoe in his ear or Udonis Haslam.
Hmm.
Somebody should be almost like nurturing that guy. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's not like Riley didn't have other dudes that are on his teams with the Lakers that didn't bring other guys along, right?
right.
So I mean, I never thought I'd say this. Riley just comes off as a crotchety old curmudgeon right now. I'm just sorry, man. Pat
Yeah.
Riley ain't supposed to be a damn curmudgeon. Come on,
Nah.
man.
Yeah,
He the personification of cool, and he done become, I'm sorry, a Florida
yeah.
politician. I'll
Yeah.
leave it at that.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. By the
So,
way, Alex Sarr, is that his name? Alex
mm-hmm.
Sarr? Man, like, bruh, like, what, what, what are you doing? You know, like,
Hey, look, you think it's bad in Miami? That is a foundational piece in DC.
I like his game. I mean,
He is
he
a
can
foundation.
score.
And you know, with Bub Cunningham, you know, I mean I mean Bub I forget because I'm covering Detroit too. But Cade Cunningham, but
Yeah,
Bub Carrington
right,
is a stud. But I mean, you know, Trey Young sounds nice, but we know he don't play no defense. He's a matador, so
right.
he'll give you 25 and give up 40. I mean, to
Just
me,
think of this: Wilt, Bam,
and
Kobe.
Kobe.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, does it?
Doesn't make sense.
But tell the truth, Jeff. That's why we love sports, right?
That's why we love
That's why we
sports.
watch every night.
It's the
And so folks
beauty.
got
It's
to
the beauty of
understand.
it. Yeah.
Yup. Yup. I'm so there with you, bro. Anyway,
Yep.
that's my guy, Jeff Fox. Hey, we had to burn the midnight oil to converse about this because, I mean, damn, there's only one
You know
person
what
who
this is
scored more
like,
points
Professor
in a
G?
single game.
You know what this is like? This is like Ross Perot coming out of nowhere and stealing the
No,
presidency.
not
for
in,
those, for
in
those
the
who
in the
remember,
pantheon of examples that I thought you would roll with, not Ross Perot. Wow. That is some OG sports talk stuff on the radio.
I'm
Wow.
telling you, man. I'm telling you, man.
And you know, yeah, and in the interest of full disclosure, before we get up out of here, it's been a challenging time for you and I after the national championship game.
Yes, yes.
Have you settled with Carson Beck yet?
I think Carson Beck has a future in the NFL. I think
I'm
he'll
not. No,
be
no, no,
okay.
no, 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 no. We're not talking about that. We're talking about having an opportunity with the ball in his hands at the end of the game and then
Yeah.
throwing a pick.
Yeah, I really haven't gotten over that.
Okay, just
I
so long as we're there.
I recently celebrated a birthday at a sports bar called Ricky's, and Benny Blades was in the house. You know, the great Benny Blades from the
Mm-hmm.
Detroit Lions, and we were hanging out. And I asked him, I was like, Benny, did you? I said, it's been almost 2 months, man. I mean, it's been it's been more than a month. I'm still not over it.
Yeah,
You know,
I
and
understand.
Benny said,
Dude, neither am I really.
yeah,
You know, I've thrown myself into other things. It's
yeah,
almost like when I had my divorce the first time. It was
yeah.
like you just throw yourself into something else and you try not to think about it. This is my guy, Jeff Fox from Miami, as we chronicled an 83-point night. Who would have ever thought Bam Adebayo would take his place between Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant?
Certainly not me.
It happened. Hey, thanks, Jeff, man. I appreciate you, bro. You know I love you, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
No doubt. Shout out to Remix Sports Media. That's where you find me at. All right.
All
Remix
right,
Sports
bro.
Media.
Yep, Remix Sports Media. That's right. The Jeff Fox Show with his cast and crew. You need to check it out. They all over South Beach. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. Peace.